What's going on, everybody? KD here, and welcome back to the 20th official episode of the King Darius Experience. Super huge milestone for us to hit 20 episodes in less than a month. And in honor of that, or in celebration of that, I want to show the incremental progress and traction that we have gained across all categorical aspects of the business just by daily committing to creating content, to distributing that content, to being on social, to connecting with people, and that driving all types of results for the business. So literally, as it pertains to date in May, right? May 1st through May 23rd, everything is up this month, right? It's been almost an entire full month of committing to those things daily. Music streams are up, podcast engagement and listens are up, social media numbers are up across the board, inbound leads are up across the board as well, coming in from all platforms. I got over, just this past week, got over 10 quality. I mean, these are people I'm talking to, developing business, a few of them selling to, onboarding them as clients. These are real quality leads, as well as collaborations being up, getting asked to be on podcasts, getting asked to create content together, people asking me for beats for their content, people asking me to create music myself so they can use it for their content as well. So these are all things that have happened by daily living and engaging and caring and making other humans feel seen, important, and valued with our one-on-one interactions and collective interactions as well. So just to kind of dive into a little bit of a deeper layer, and if you're watching on a visual platform, you'll probably see a few of these things, swipe across the screen. But essentially, let's just take Spotify, for example. Listeners are up 36% month over month, right? So streams are up 25% month over month, hit 3.4 thousand streams this month. So you can clearly see the upward trajectory there. Podcast day over day, week over week is already growing astronomically. And I can guarantee, in the 20s and 30s, episode 20 through episode 40 is going to be, double or triple that. Same thing with social, month to date, May 1st through May 23rd, 1.8 thousand engagements from 287 prior to doing anything on social, right? And this is just Instagram alone. This is not TikTok. This is not YouTube. I'm not really doing anything on Facebook. Spending on Spotify ads for the first time ever, so that's kind of fun. And overall, these things are coming by way of interacting with people every single day, native to the platforms that they're already giving their attention to, right? So streams, engagement, right? Inbound leads, collaborations, and actual sales. You could not ask for more traction daily and weekly for your business, yet people refuse to do these things, right? This is not an influx of a major result, right? This is incremental growth that will last over time. And that's why it's more important for you to attach yourself to what's going to grow you through all seasons, what's going to gain traction that, today, what's something that you can actually push forward without having something new. The thing that you need to avoid as a creator is getting sort of entrepreneurial junkie syndrome, right? Where you always see something new and you want to accomplish that thing, go do that thing. So you start losing excellence in all of these other areas. It is vital for you to be indispensable in your creations on all fronts, on the marketing front, on the content front, on the outreach front, and customer front. On the intake front, on the sales and biz dev front, on the fulfillment front, you are creating in all stages of your funnel. Therefore, you need to be excellent in all of those stages, or you are just going to be lackluster across the board and sort of like, an inch deep and a mile wide, or whatever that saying is. You want to grow vertical, you want to grow deep, and you living in those three things all the time, and social and content and one-on-one connection is going to be a caveat or a bridge between where you're at today and that week over week, month over month growth that you're looking for your business. Because the beauty of this is that and I've posted about this on social media, it doesn't have to be an empire, it has to be you. And for you to gain your freedom, you really don't need that much. And when I say freedom, I mean freedom from obligations, expectations, and other people's agenda, so you can freely create the things that actually matter to you. But in order for you to do this, like we've been talking about, you need to take forward-facing attention. First, you need to get forward-facing attention, but you need to take that forward-facing attention and bridge it into actual traction and results for your business, which brings me to my second point, and that's creating on-ramps, right? You've heard me refer to these things as several different, terms, if you will, like on-ramps. You can refer to them as channels. Sometimes I refer to them as back channels if it's not a direct channel to something, if it's sort of like an indirect back channel to acquire leads or sales for a thing. But you need to draw a straight line between your forward facing efforts and where you want these people to come in through, right? So one of the things that I did is I spent my entire first month focusing on my platform, focusing on my funnel, focusing on my intake, right? Because I knew I was going to commit to a lifestyle of content and connecting with people. It's been in my nature for the entire last decade of my career, is always driving deep one-on-one connection and intimate value touch points with my forward-facing audiences, because I truly believe that your best effort, your best content, your best IP, your best intelligence, everything forward-facing is how you grow, right? Everybody tries to put stuff behind gates and all of that kind of stuff that lacks any type of relevance or context for the traction that you're trying to gain. So what I did was I focused on my platform, knowing that I was going to put both organic and paid effort and attention on top of that platform, which is going to be my incremental growth over time, or my exponential growth. That's why you need to be creating on-ramps and making your social platforms or your content platforms work in tandem with your web platforms, right? Your landing pages, your website, your intake forms, whether you're using, Gravity form, Typeform, you're just using a form on your website, whether you're just, communicating with people over DM. And it was actually really cool. So earlier this week, our director of media, Nick, his wife is working on building a business of handmade products, right? And so we were coaching her on sort of, daily outreach. And it was so funny because we went through, a group text message, and we're all, talking about, different actions and behaviors we can take to hopefully, grow that. And that can be something they can add to their repertoire of something that's growing business and media wise. And so she started doing daily outreach, and she hits the thread and she goes, "Is it bad that I got blocked on Instagram?" And I immediately responded. I said, "No, this is beautiful. I actually used to teach people, if you're not hitting your daily limit in regards to outreach, and this is DMing people, right, with context, not just canning message, but actually, context, relevance, who are they, what's a common thread between you and them, you should be hitting that limit every single day." I don't know what it is. I think it's somewhere around, 30 to 50 people, and they'll probably start cutting you off depending on how people are responding and all that kind of stuff. But those are good things, right? Max out the platforms that are readily available for you to gain traction in your business. If you're not fully using the tools, that's like carrying 4 hammers with you and never using them, but you're sitting there pounding nails into whatever project you're working on with like a 2x4, right? Use the tools that are actually available to you, and you'll see the type of growth that you want to see. And this is why I truly believe that incremental growth and compound growth is far more effective for business owners than an influx or a vertical scale or a hockey stick, because that invokes and that comes along with a lot of unwanted obligations and behaviors that you're going to eventually have to shave the fat off of, right? You inherit a lot of things when you grow too fast. And I learned this the hard way as an entrepreneur, right? This is now my 3rd official run at building a business, and I truly believe that I have a deep level of stability and unshakable nature to what I'm doing now, because I've built around the things that I actually love, and I'm not looking for quick wins. I'm looking for longevity. I'm looking for a fortification around my freedom, right? There's nothing important to me more than my freedom as a creator, because if I give that up for money, if I give that up for prestige, if I give that up for position, I'm literally losing the entire reason or the derivative of why I got into this into the first place. And that is to actually awaken, empower creators across the entire world, or at least the people that come in contact with my brands. So in order for me to do that, I can't be inheriting other people's agenda. I can't be inheriting all of the things that come along with huge spikes in growth just so I can, flaunt that to people, or, hold a certain prestige and then still be unhappy, right? I lived that life. I literally lived a successful yet unhappy life where I had forward-facing, attention, forward-facing success, huge amounts of cash in the bank. Yet all of my meaningful relationships and the things that mattered to me were all on the back burner, deteriorating, right? And that's not the type of life that you want as a creator. So the way that I have learned to combat that, or at least, 180 that behavior in the opposite direction, is I follow that process that you hear me talk about on social media and in the podcast a lot, which is I'm very observant in regards to human behavior. I observe what is happening in the world, right? I'm a studier of literally the atmosphere that we live in and the human behavior within that atmosphere. Then I execute, and then I observe what happened after I execute, and then I adjust. This is no different than if you were, trailblazing or pioneering, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. If you came across a piece of land and it hadn't been claimed yet or what have you, you're going to look at the lay of the land and start deciding, okay, I'm observing this, I'm going to execute that, I have a vision for this over here. Then once you get into the execution process, you're going to be like, man, my original vision for what I thought was going to be over here for cultivation and over here for housing and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to work. I'm going to have to shift this, I'm going to have to adjust this. People aren't really responding to that. They don't like this, right? You have to live in the building and the scaling of your thing. But when you hear words like build, scale, growth, you think this. You think, right? Straight up and down. What you need to start thinking is this, right? And of course, you're going to have your ups and downs. And I think it was like episode 1 or 2 where we talked about stable growth and not having, the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but sort of having that like wave that slightly goes up, but still has ups and downs as you're climbing that ladder, because that's how you grow at a pace that does not break you as a person, doesn't, stifle you as a creator, and doesn't essentially require you to continue things that you don't love, right? There's always going to be 20% of stuff that we have to do, that we're obligated to do inside of a business if you're following the 80-20 rule. But 80% of the time, you should be able to live within the things that you've created because you love them, and they're things that you would do whether you were getting paid for them or not. So that's my episode for you today, episode 20, hopefully showing you the results that I've gotten over the last, 23 days of really diving back into that lifestyle of content and connecting with humans and providing value and giving them undivided attention and helping them feel seen and valued and heard, and interacted with. Like, they are literally, I say they, it's all of us, right? We as humans are literally living lives of disconnection, right? Lives of loneliness, lives of not being seen and not having people's full undivided attention. So it catches people off guard when you truly spend time with them, because they're literally in houses with people, in work environments with people, in public places with people where everybody's ignoring them. And then when they are engaging with them, they're looking down at their phone. So using these tools as a means to an end to connect with people truly is how you're going to grow something over time. And you're going to see flashing lights everywhere, right? You're going to see people promoting quick ways to do this and how to do this over there. You're going to see this person winning here, this person, getting incremental growth over here, and this person spiking over here or selling this or whatever. And you're going to get that itch to be like, I just want to do that, right? That's why people fall into multi-level marketing, which that's a story for a different day. But you need your stability and you need your freedom. Those are two vital things for a creator: your freedom and your stability within that freedom. So we will see you in episode 21 of the King Darius Experience. Peace.
I just wanna win on the low. Ask me where I've been, I said don't know. You making demands, I said whoa. She wanna be friends, I said no. Hey, yeah, whoa. My soul is stuck between dark and the light. It's like playing some musical chairs. They kicked me out, so I started a life, made a bag that was bigger than theirs. I win and I lose.